Hi everyone, I'm Jana and this is Primelang. At this channel we talk about different language related issues, so if you're new here be sure to check out our videos and subscribe to our channel if you like what you see. Today I don't have Olga with me, instead I've got my friend Teddy Bear. Teddy, say hi to our viewers. Hi everyone. That wasn't me, that was the bear. He doesn't have a name yet, but if you think he needs one, send me some suggestions in the comment box. I'll choose one and let you know what it is. Holidays are coming, as the famous commercial says, and we're all getting ready for our vacation. We're planning our celebrations and making some plans for the next year. But what many people are also doing is reviewing this past year. They're thinking or talking about what this year has been like, what they've been doing, what they've achieved, and all that stuff. And so I thought it fitting to make a video about my German learning progress, what I've been doing this year German-wise, and also I'll share with you some of my plans for the next year. A few months ago, when Olga and I were making a video about our language learning progress, I mentioned my German textbook, which is, if you don't remember or don't know, it's quite a big one. It's got 8 large units, each one being 25 to 30 pages long. And currently I am on unit 7. I was, to be honest, hoping to finish this unit by the end of this year, by December, and I was hoping that I will only have 1 unit left after the holidays. Well, it's not going to happen because I'm only halfway through unit 7. It's quite a challenging one, and I'm taking my sweet time with this unit as well as with a couple of previous ones. That's all because the grammar is getting more and more difficult, the vocabulary is more and more specific, and it's taking me longer to do each task, to read each article, each text, and when I'm listening to some recordings, I'm also taking very much longer than before. Just to give you an example of the vocabulary I'm talking about, is in Unit 6 of this textbook, we talked about crime, and there were a lot of texts crime related. For example, there was one about crime in novels, different crime novels. Then there was another text about crime on TV series, or rather, criminology in TV series, and how forensics and criminology and criminal investigation, how what we see on TV is different from what happens in reality. And naturally there is a lot of specific vocabulary about related to different processes connected with crime investigation. I don't think that I remember this vocabulary very well, but I'm planning to start reading a detective story, or rather a thriller. I'm not sure if there will be a crime investigation, but who knows? It might be. I'll talk more in detail about my reading plans a little bit later in this video. In this unit, in Unit 7, the topic is technology and different trends in technology, different inventions, and that's a lot of fun. I really like talking about this or reading about this, and so I'm really enjoying it. But again, just like it was with criminology, with crime theme, I'm having to use my dictionary a lot, having to write down a lot of new words, and I haven't learned many of them yet. So to be honest, I'm far behind. My vocabulary list on paper is much bigger than the one in my head, but I'm working on it. Grammar-wise, it's also been quite challenging. I'll just give an example of a few topics that I've been working on, and I'll tell you what I think of them. Passive in German, it turns out that there are different kinds of passive, basically, and they are, in fact, very similar. If you, by accident, mix them up, you mix up little the verb form or something else, you can accidentally say something completely different from what you're intending to say. So I have to concentrate it. Also, there are some structures that can be used instead of passive to however they render the passive meaning. And but they do make sense. They're pretty logical, and I think I'm comfortable with this topic, especially once I start using it more actively and seeing it in other sources. I'll be comfortable with it. The other or another topic is Konjunktiv 2. Konjunktiv 2, it's like conditional sentences in the English language. In German, all types of conditional, they're all stuck into the Konjunktiv 2, and there are different forms, and so you have to remember how each one is structured, and each time you're making a sentence when you're speaking, and that's something that actually is used in the spoken German. So you have to, you better get used to it if you are also learning German like me. I guess I've reconciled with this topic by now. But anyway, by the time you've made a sentence in the Konjunktiv 2, especially in the past form, it really does feel as if you've I don't know, as if you've built a house, or as you have done something massive. The next topic is Konjunktiv 1, and it is only logical, I think, to assume that Konjunktiv 1 will have something to do with Konjunktiv 2, or at least it will be in the similar realm. No such luck. It has nothing to do with Konjunktiv 2. First of all, it's not used in the spoken German. And I was a little bit uncomfortable having to learn this, because why do I need this stuff? What if it's outdated, obsolete? Why am I learning this? After all, I'm not doing some in-depth learning getting into history of the German language and all that stuff. But it is used in other sources, for example, in the press or in fiction literature. Basically, Konjunktiv 1 is something like the government is said to announce their new policy next week, something like this. So the sentence is something that you I'm sure have seen in newspapers or magazines. And a few weeks ago, I was I was curious to read something about vaccination in German. And so I got on the Deutsche Welle website, and I read something about the vaccines, and I did see this grammar, Konjunktiv 1, in sentences when they were reporting someone's words. Maybe it was Chancellor. I'm not sure who said what anymore. I don't remember. But the point is that this grammar is not obsolete. In fact, far from it. It's just that it's not used in the spoken language. But I'm not learning German. Speaking German is not my primary goal. My primary goal is reading, and if I want to understand everything I'm reading, or most of what I'm reading, I'd better be familiar even with the forms that I don't like. Well, the form, or not the form, the grammar point, which I'm really struggling with, and I'm still not good, and to be honest, at this point, I don't see the end of the tunnel. The lighted, sorry, actually, I don't see the end of the tunnel, and I don't see the light at the end of the tunnel as well. It is the order of adverbial modifiers in the German sentence. For example, in German, it's very important to maintain the correct order. When you're explaining something, you need to know exactly in which order you say when something happened, why it happened, where it happened, and it has to be in exactly the right order. I'm sure if I misplace some adverbial modifiers, they'll understand me, but I'm not, I want to learn it the right way. So I'm still not good, but I'm going to get there. I've told myself that I just have to get over my difficulty, and this is my biggest challenge for now, grammar-wise. Well, I guess enough of the textbook stuff. I'm sorry if I was boring you a little bit. I'll talk now about the stuff that I've done for fun. I've been doing quite a lot of listening. Well, I guess it's better to start with reading. I've been reading I've been reading some articles on Deutsche Welle, and I can't remember, there was some other website that I was using, and I read right now short articles about some current events in the world, and it's fun. It's fun to be able to read something that has just come out, has just been published, and not something that's in the textbook, not only something that's in the textbook. So that was nice. Also, I've been doing some listening comprehension for quite a while now. I've been listening to German radio. Um, First, I was trying to force myself to listen to the news, and not the long news programs, but the ones that are broadcast at the beginning of each hour. They're maybe 3 minutes long or so, but they have to squeeze a lot of information in these 3 minutes, and they're speaking extra fast, and I don't understand well most of what I'm hearing, unfortunately, and I've decided not to push this right now, especially given the fact that I don't actually like reading or listening to the news. Um, then I've switched to something a little bit more fun. Um, I like listening to talent shows or watching talent shows, especially singing talent shows, and that's why I've started listening to The Voice of Germany. I'm sure you all know program The Voice. Uh, Many countries have it, and Germany is no exception. And that's a lot of fun to listen to what judges are saying, and when contestants are talking about their lives and other things. And of course, it's great to be able to hear, great singing. So I've really enjoyed that. I cannot say that I understand everything that they say, but I think I understand a little bit more each time. Each time that I listen to a new track or whatever. What do you call it? I listen to new piece of this program on YouTube. There are only like snippets. Well, they're not snippets. They're each show is about maybe 7 minutes long, as long as it takes for one contestant to sing and for the judges to express their opinion. So each time I feel that I'm getting a little bit better at understanding what they're saying. The other thing that I'm listening to is something called BookTube. I really like BookTube. For those who don't know, it's a segment of YouTube where bloggers will talk about books. They talk about books that they've read. They talk about books that they have just bought. They talk about what they have on their bookshelves, and so on and so forth. And the idea for me was to find some books in German that I could read. Unfortunately, I'm quite ignorant about German contemporary literature. I know classics, and my ultimate goal is to be able to read German classics. But I also enjoy reading contemporary stuff, thrillers and detective stories and love stories, and I want to know what's out there, what new authors exist. Besides, we know perfectly well that a lot of books are not translated, or they're not translated well. And even if they are translated well, it doesn't matter. I want to be able to read the stuff in the original. And that's why I went on BookTube. I found a lot of bloggers in Russian, in English, and French. And I thought, well, why not find some in German as well? And I've actually found a couple to whom I've subscribed, and I've listened to a couple of their videos. They speak very fast. There's one girl who speaks a little bit slower, and I'm grateful to her for that. And there's the other one who speaks super duper fast, and I'm determined to try to understand her because she's, I don't know, I get good vibes when I'm listening to her, and yeah, and I understand a lot of what she says, and so after watching some of these videos, I've found two books. One is a thriller, psychological thriller, by a German author whose name I'd never heard before. So that's exciting to discover a new name. And then there is a love story, I think, according to the description, and it's again according to the description, it's a young adult. I'm not a great fan of young adult books, but I liked how the blogger described this one, and I thought I'd give it a try. And I've already got these books. I'm excited to start them sometime soon. I've already read one book back in the summer, in August, September. That was a book of short stories by Bernhard Schlink, and I understood, I think, maybe about 60-70%. Well, I figured out how much I understood by reading, for instance, one story in German and then rereading this same story in Russian. The thing is that this book has been translated into Russian, and so I can compare notes, so to speak. These new books that I've found, I'm only going to be reading in German. I'm not going to even try to find a Russian translation. Because I don't want to have to always stick to that. I need to break away from translated versions. I want to just stick to the original. I'm sure I'll understand, and if not, well, then it will be my next challenge. I will move on. I will do whatever it takes to make my understanding, my listening comprehension or reading comprehension better and better every time. I actually started talking about my plans for next year, but for my German book, maybe my first German book, I will start reading already this year before the holidays. As far as my textbook plans go, my German learning plans, I was initially planning to finish my textbook by the end of February. I was hoping to finish, like I said earlier, Unit 7 by the end of this year. But I've still got about half of it left. And there's really too much. The year is almost over, a little bit, about a week left or what, I'm not sure. And I just can't finish so much stuff in 1 week. So it's going to have to wait. And so initially I was planning to finish the whole textbook by February, but it's not going to happen. And so I'm planning to finish it maybe in April. This sounds about right. Then I'm not going to pursue C1 level. First of all, right now I don't feel that I need it. C1 focuses on the preparation to the C1 level exam, mostly because that's the reason why most people go through this level at all. And it focuses on a lot of vocabulary and a lot of very, very difficult things that is very theme oriented, and I don't feel that I need it so much right now. Maybe I'll do it a little bit later, but now I feel that I need a break from learning. I need a break from my routine of lessons and doing homework and things like this. However, I'm not going to stop with my German life, since I've dedicated quite a big chunk of my time to it. I can't just close everything and say, oh, goodbye German. What was all this effort for then? Instead of textbooks, I'm planning to find someone with whom I can practice my German speaking. There's something called language exchange. There are lots of websites as well as lots of groups on social media where people post that they speak this and this and this language, and they would like to practice a foreign language that they've been learning. And I'm sure I will have no trouble finding an language exchange partner for German and maybe English. I mean, I could help someone with English or with Russian in exchange for their helping me with my German. Naturally, I would definitely like to speak with a native German speaker, but if there is someone non-native who is very fluent, well, why not? We'll see how it goes. I'll keep you posted on all my news. So I guess this is all for now. Teddy and I, we're wishing you happy holidays, happy New Year, and a Merry Christmas. I hope that you have wonderful, wonderful time with your family and friends, and that you make a lot of new memories. And we'll talk to you soon. Please give me the thumbs up if you like this video, and remember to subscribe. Bye bye.